Hey people, Indra here, 3v3 faction war this is, SDL province, and Orks versus Eldar. For the blue Orky team, Boogeyman 115 is a Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat with a bunch of Orky gadgets alongside Flo as a Kommando Nob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins with a twin link shooter already sneaking around. Rounding off the Orky team, the Tenso as a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. Eldar team, Dice Roll is a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat, some powerful disruption and support alongside Bebop, rocking the Farseer, a support hero fighting in melee with some powerful buffs and control just through guide on those Guardians. Looks like the Oathway DLC here. Is Dice Roll using the same scheme? I'm going to get confused, aren't I? Rounding off the teams is Thomas the Tilt Engine as a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat, great for capping and harassing, some powerful control. On the east side against the Warboss, can you say heavy gauge death spinner? Kicking off through the mid, a bunch of Eldar here. Boogeyman is responding. Warlock doing some good work. Commando goes down to the Banshees who get into the back lines. There's a bunch of Guardians being buffed by the Farseer too. Triple Guardians for both Bebop and Thomas the Tilt Engine. Farseer's not going to let these shooter boys get away, I don't think. Oh, special attack messes her up though, and she has to run. Does let them get away. I was already wrong. Those Guardians got caught really badly. I assume Dice Roll was busy microing in, controlling their Banshees and their Warlock around. Everything gets away okay for the Orks, but it's a good start for the Eldar. They kind of punch through the mid there. On the east side, we've got Sluggers with Burners. Triple Guardians will open up against them though. They took a bunch of damage getting in there. But they did get in. Are they going to drop another model? 45 hit points on 4 models. 44 there for a second. And they are going to get away. So does the Warp Spider. So do those Guardians. These guys can maybe grab contested power on the eastern edge. Commando will get revived by the Mekboy. Yep, they're already on their way. And this is being recapped. Rangers now for Dice Roll and Bebop, and a Shuriken for Thomas the Tilt Engine. I was going to say, we're most likely going to see a bunch of Shurikens to help control the Orc aggression, but nope, we're going for Rangers apparently. Double Rangers for Dice Roll. Storm Boys for Boogeyman and the Tenso. I was going to then say a bunch of Shurikens might force the purchase of Storm Boys, and then you could punish those Storm Boy purchases. Looks like we're going to get Storm Boys anyway. There's a War Banner buffing some Shooter Boys here with extra speed and damage output. Not too much extra. It's like 5 to 7% or something like that. But it does last 30 seconds, so it's pretty nice. Especially when you combine it with their War Shouts. Here's the Storm Boys being infiltrated already. Oh, that was just the Hollow Fields, I think. I thought that was Hide the Boys from the Commando, but I don't think it was. No war gear for the Mekboy. No war gear for the Commando. They are off the field. Through the mid, some sneaky Orks. This is Hide the Boys from Flo here, trying to get a nasty flank on the Shuriken. The Shuriken gets jumped. And we do have Heavy Gauge. We also have improved targeters. Heavy Gauge is so good. I think it's 100 Rec 25 power. And you get the awesome Heavy Gauge filament and like 50% more DPS, because I think he starts with 21 DPS on his Death Spinners, I think. This takes it up to 34. It's a huge uplift in DPS, and then he's buffed by improved targeters too. Power bashing from the Orks, double Sluggers here, Flo helping out. They got their Shooter Boys here too. No, Shooter Boys are through the mid. On the west side now, channeling runes on the Warlock, powerful healing ability, but it does root the Warlock in place while he channels them. But it can mean your Banshee's going to like walk through stuff they really couldn't otherwise. Here comes the Kommando Nob with some Daka. Shooter Boys fully upgraded with big shooters and their Nob leaders, so they're doing huge amounts of DPS in tier 1. Storm Boys continue to push, and they're going to take huge amounts of damage here. The Warp Spider Exarch is pumping out DPS. And it still retains a melee special attack, of course, with this, I believe. And almost 18 melee DPS is not bad at all for the amount of range DPS they're doing, and they can teleport. Orc trying to punch through with some brute force, as is their way. Got their rec point decap there. It has been a pretty good start for the Eldar, but can they keep it up? Warlock jumping in. Really wants that Witchblade of Kurnus, I think, in tier 2. It's an expensive weapon, though. Does get away all right. Farseer mixing it up with some shooter boys, while the Commando tries to tear apart some Guardians. Farseer is killing models here. Oh, she has her ghost down. And there it is, with the Mind Warp. And then she goes down. I wonder if that would have killed them if she stayed alive there, because I think she has to channel it a bit, doesn't she? It certainly seemed to end when she fell over. Thomas the Tilt Engine with 2 shurikens on the east side. Do we have angry bits? No angry bits, so can't charge through them as the Storm Boys, and can come in from angles, of course, on this map. These guys are covering this approach here. And some power bashing Orcs. They have got through on the power a couple of times, even though the Eldar have started relatively strongly. I don't know if this has been bashed. We do see some damage there, so maybe it has. Farseer is still down over there. There's the channeling on the Banshees, but it's worn off. And they took so much damage so quickly. And sometimes you kind of have to use them that way in a 3v3. Kind of have to throw them in there to soak up damage while your backline units do their work and your heroes get around. They're like assault marines almost. We have to initiate fights with them sometimes because you don't have room to flank and you've got nothing else that can really do it unless you throw your hero in. Speaking of throwing heroes in, down goes the Warlock. The Farseer's back on her feet. I believe she just got repurchased. 3 Rangers doing some reasonable damage. I believe it's 20 odd damage per hit per rifle. There's Mind War on the Mekboy, who has a battery pack. Farseer runs. Warlock's going to have to wait for a revive. Orcs hitting back hard and pretty effectively. They got some power bashes on both sides. Got the VP. Got a hero down. And the tier 2s are pretty even in the end, actually. The Eldar players had to spend a bunch of rec to get the gens back up, though, of course. So that has slowed them down a bit in terms of some other things they may have liked to do a bit earlier. Warps for Exarch gets a decap. Nicely done by Thomas there. It's important for the Warp Spider player to do that quite a lot, I think. Oh, they might go down here. Storm Boy's getting a retreat kill. Look at that. They're typically not great at retreat killing, but if they can just jump in the path, they can get 1 attack each at least. War trucks from Flow and the Tenso. Dark Reapers from Dice Roll. I was hoping to see a Wraith Lord on that side. Maybe we'll see one from Bebop. Meanwhile, through this kind of mid-western part, contested power is uncapped, which often happens. There's Mind War again on the Sluggers this time. Maybe we'll see some grenades here. Uh-oh. Storm Boys jumping in with their Nob leader. Stunned all of those Rangers. Gonna try and keep those guys apart from now on. Void Boy up now from Boogeyman. That guy could do huge amounts of work on this side. That could be a massive threat. Here are the Dark Reapers. Storm Boys aren't too bothered. Jumping on them. Should be able to get them off the field here, but they're creating some space for a power bash. There's a kinetic pulse knocking down the Sluggers. The Storm Boys do indeed run 410. So 402. Sluggers still want to have a go. Their Nob leader's up. And that guy's mean. 55 DPS power melee, I think, on that fella. Used to be 60 DPS. Orcs pushing through the east side with the War Truck doing some power bashing. Strong start to tier 2 for the Orcs. Eldar started relatively well, but Orcs have been pushing through now, kind of at will. Good special from the Autark. Jumps in. Don't get yourself killed there, lady. Okay, she runs off. Here come Fire Dragons from Bebop. War Truck allows you to reinforce your Orcs around it, and they can transport inside of it, of course, and it's a big issue now. Banshees have found the Kommando Nob. Doing some good work. Sluggers coming in to try and help. There's some kinetic pulse. We need to see more of that. Some well-timed kinetic pulses could win fights for the Eldar. War Truck being a big pain in the arse at the moment. Fire Dragons will help with that, especially with some guide buffs from the Farseer. She could maybe get the Singing Spear as well. And there's that weird boy, of course. Power's being bashed again. Okay, Fire Dragons, can they get it done? Got those fusion guns, they're being chased by Orks. Witchblade of Kurnus is in. Down goes the fire truck, the War Truck. Sluggers also wipe. Fire Dragons get away. Okay, that was decent. That was a decent fight for the Eldar. Wiped Sluggers. Oh, wow. Flow is down to just shooter boys, actually. More losses than I thought. They had double shooters, I'm pretty sure. That could be a turning point for the Eldar. Uh-oh. Foot of Gork causing mass retreat. They took a while to run away there for some reason. Banshees may not make it out. Here comes the Farseer. Where's that Warlock? With that Witchblade of Kurnus, so he's run off. Is that Cloak of Shadows? Yes, it is. Ouch. It's the special shooter. I mean, it's pretty special. Stun Bomb goes in as well, and a Warp Vomit just in case that didn't stun them. Not sure these ranges have paid off. I think those Shuriken Cannons would have been a safer choice. Flow just goes tier 3. That's their response to losing their army. This got bashed again as well. Yeah, tons of power harass for the Orks. Eldar are going to be behind here. Tank busters on the field for the Tenso. Not sure why. Was there a vehicle I didn't see from Thomas? Webway goes up there. Need to use a bunch of that as well. Fire Dragon is doing some good work though, eh? Warp Spider Exarch on retreat path. The Tenso's Warboss with a Power Claw can cleave through anything. Eldar getting back to the west side. Can they cap it though? They don't seem to have much opposition from the look of the minimap. There's some shooter boys here. But that's it. Warlock dropping in. Set up with a kinetic pulse. That is dice rolls. The Warlock does provide a damage resistance aura around her. I believe it's 15% against ranged fire. Pretty good. Mind War gets the Kommando Nob out of there. They do have the sneaky infiltration kit. Bebop needs to be careful. Big flank coming in from the Tenso. But I think Thomas is coming through as well. Maybe. A little bit slow though. Yeah, Bebop gets caught. Nice idea though, pushing through the mid, trying to get on the VP. Trying to drag the Orc players around, but what they did is drag Tenso into flanking them. Here comes Thomas. Does have a Bright Lance up. Warlock looking to disrupt those sluggers. There we go. Bomber Boys sending in a Kamikaze rocket pack. Boom boom though. Level 3 Storm Boys, eh? Improved rocket packs also gives them extra jump range, which is nice. Hey, hey, we do have a Wraith Lord. It's from Thomas though. Tenso already has tank busters up. They're kind of far away though. Storm Boy's jumping through with a Wraith Lord right there apparently. Special attack, which it doesn't even bother using its sword for, which is weird. It just backhands you. Going for the shoulder mounted shuriken to help them cut down Orks. There it is. Couldn't quite get a full power bash, but did a lot of work there, did the Wraith Lord. Oh no, they did get the full power bash. Shooter Boys came in and got it. Meanwhile, the commander said no to your webway with a shotgun and then throws a stun bomb in. Why is there fire over here? Oh, because we've got double commandos from Flow. They chucked their burner bombs, I guess. There's heavy gauge and Mind War on the Warboss. Down they go. Wraith Lord getting a big swack in there. 384 to 284. Can the Eldar gain some momentum? They're taking back the west side, looks like. They might be able to get a power bash here. Wraithlord did some good work, took some damage as well. Yeah, tank busters are here. Shuriken can set up and maybe just shut them down here. There's the barrage. Fair amount of damage for those fellas. Here come double commandos. They have rocket launchers and burner bombs, and they can disrupt. They're really good, these guys. Storm Boy's getting a really good stun on landing. Wraithlord needs to get away, I think. Shuriken went down. Or was that the Bright Lance? That was the Bright Lance, I think. Yeah, Wraithlord just needs to leave. Because there's tank busters here, and there's double commandos, and they're supported by the war truck. 2, says Thomas. Indeed it is. Eldar have pushed through the west side, though. That's a bunch of dead orcs. Doing reasonably well, it seems, dice roll. Mekboy teleports in to tie things up in melee. Ortark has her spear. Here we see Bebop helping out. With fire dragons and lots of pew pew and mind war again. Down goes the commando. There's the burner bombs. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Fire dragons retreating through it. They almost wiped, actually. Wraithlord is chasing the tank busters, otherwise they'll shoot it down, of course. Oh, they ducked inside the war truck. I don't think the Wraithlord's going to survive this. They're trying to repair it. They need to run up to the war truck, and as soon as those tank busters get out, they need to tie them up. There's the tank busters, and down goes the Wraithlord. Would have been very tricky to try and do that. The Warp Spider was tying up something else, I think. Oh, and some Guardians wiped, I think, as well. Thomas had a rough fight there. 3-4-3 to 2-7-2. It's not going to be as easy for Thomas to recover as it was for Flo, who just go tier 3 and get a bunch of commandos up. Down goes the Warp Spider Exarch. Oh, this is still blue here. Did they not take it? Warp vomits. Big old stun. Ortark runs away. With DPS, though, from those Dark Creepers and stuff, here's a foot of Gork. Gonna hit the Rangers, I think. Oh, it didn't go off. Did they cancel it? Did they not let the animation finish? 2-to-1 cap for the Orks. VPs, there's 100 in it, which can disappear very quickly. Looks like Bebop is going to get a revive. And a chunk of XP. Has rune armor for Psychic Storm. Kommando Nob still down here. Warp Spider's on the field now for Thomas. Using the global to recover, I think, there. There's the revive. And here's some power bashing Howling Banshees. And there's those very dangerous triple commandos. Is it worth getting a shuriken to try and suppress these fellas? They're going to sneak around, though. Ouch. Big ouches. Banshee's white. That was Commando Melee, I think. Warlock does get away. Meanwhile, east side, a push from the Eldar. Storm Boy's jumping in. And there's Mind War. Nice ability, isn't it, Mind War? Seems to do a fair chunk of damage. Does it tell me on here how much it does? 40 heavy melee damage to each model, and a bunch of courage damage every second that keeps them suppressed. It's a decent chunk. Psychic Storm doing some decent work as well. Can they get some grenades in here? Sluggers reinforcing. Also have Ard Boys on them from the Warboss. Yeah, the war truck's a big pain in the arse here. Might have got those sluggers down if it wasn't for that war truck reinforcing them. Good special from the Farseer there. And then she runs. There's Heavy Gauge. Meanwhile, in the middle, a bunch of Orks, innit? Can they get through the mid and decap probably 3-2-3 to 2-3-3. Looted tank on the way for Boogeyman. We have quad commandos now for Flo. D cannon on the way for Dice Roll. Thomas goes tier 3. Bebop is there. foot of warp. Okay, they got away from it. Warp spiders also get out of there. More power bashing from the Orks. They've kept up in tech relatively well though, the Eldar, you know. They weren't out teched like crazy. They do have to face a tank now. But Bebop still has those fire dragons and they're level 2. Farseer is level 6, now has armor of Farseer. I only saw one psychic storm. There's the time field. Ouch. Was that like quad burner bombs on them? That was not nice. Here's a bit of a flank low from Thomas. Bomber boys doing their thing. The Storm boys have been awesome for the Tenso. Tank busters are still in play, just hanging out in the mid. Level are the Storm boys actually? Level 4. They have chopped down many Eldars. Warlock got through and got a cap. It's a triple now for the Eldar. Seer Council on the way for dice roll. More commandos for flow. So they did lose a squad of them. Level 2 Warboss now with heavy armor and is getting the boss pole. Can they get rid of this guy? Grenade misses. Is it worth getting the gravity blade for the scary sluggers and the Stormboy jumps? Okay, Warboss is dealt with. Created a bunch of space, opens up this little flank here. Hello, looted tank. There's not a whole lot these guys can do about it. Fire dragons are off the field. They're coming back though. Tons of red for Bebop, so we may see a Eldritch Storm at some point. Here's the Seer Council of Dice Roll. They could be awesome. Because they can go toe-to-toe with the Storm Boys and the Sluggers just fine. Soak up tons of damage for the Eldar. And they provide that AoE buff, that 15% aura that they themselves benefit from. That's why they have the blue aura on them. Just run into a bunch of Orky firepower, and the weird boy with a warp vomit shuts down the Seer Council, and they are out of there. There's an Eldritch Storm. It's not going to hit though. A Rocks comes in. Wipes out a Shuriken, I think, and maybe some Guardians. Oh, Thomas, the tilt engine is gone. They have no units on the field. 208 to 217. Eldar actually had a VP lead. Quad commandos again for Floyle. They still have the VP here. I guess the Warp Spider maybe got it again. Level 2 Warboss, 1866 hit points. 186 to 217 on the VPs. I'm not sure if Thomas has time to recover here. I mean, they still have a 2-to-1 cap, so maybe. They don't have any power up though. They're getting some more Warp Spiders. And it's not a bad choice. Good firepower, good mobility. Farseer level 7. Mind War on the commandos there. Then runs in. Throws up a time field as well. Good place for it. It's so good in big team fights, time field. Or even 1v1 fights like this, when there's a bunch of units. Fire Dragons are going to meet some Daka. The Council can do some leaps. There we go. That disruption's so good. Grenade went in there as well at some point, I think. There's a commando. Explosive shells? No, apparently not. Gonna get some chops. The damage they do to Seer Council. On the west side, it's bad news for dice roll. Because the Tenso is here 2v1-ing. And oh, now a Nob squad from Flow. Quad commandos and the Nob squad. Seer Council up for Bebop now. Oh, that was a Bebop Seer Council. Dice rolls is back at base. The Warlock is down near the VP. 174, 190. Still a slim VP lead for the Eldar. Weird Boy's trying to cap there. But keeps getting shot at by Rangers, so he's given up. More power bashing, this time from Tank Busters. Level 3 Rangers. Gonna die, maybe? Nope, Storm Boys couldn't get it done. Nice grenade. Set up by the Mind War there. By suppressing them. Awesome stuff. They didn't drop a model, though. Sluggers were not bothered. Level 4. Stunning jump there. Here come Seer Council. They really need them. These guys are being buffed by the boss pole now, remember, as well. Storm Boys getting it done quite well. Shooter Boys come in and suppress them. Warboss with a stomp. Seer Council leaping on the Shooter Boys, and they are going to get their VP back. And now they're going to Mind War and try to chop up this Warboss. And they're pretty good at it, as you can see. Even with heavy armor. I don't think it's that high level though. Only level 3 to Warboss. 160 to 174. It's a lot of Orks. Quad Commandos and the Nob squad is right there. Yeah, they can't do much about that. They got to get out. 2v1 against Dice Roll. They're 2v1ing very well here, the Orks. Proving to be very mobile. Just rampaging across the map everywhere. Mekboy has a Daka big shooter and Mega Rumbler. Custom force field is up as well. D-cannon on the way for Bebop. I'm not sure how Dice Roll's D-cannon did. I guess not that well. I don't think I ever saw it. Maybe it was cancelled. Maybe they never got it. Maybe they cancelled it for that Seer Council. I'm not sure. 158 to 174. Some Wraith Guard for Bebop. See how they do. They certainly pack a punch. They might have to ground target to hit the Nob squad though. Because they're going to be constantly moving. But there's time field, that's one way to slow them down. Double Warp Spiders for Thomas. Nice tool to have, but they're still quite depleted as you can see. Battle Wagon on the way for the Tenso. 158 to 174. Eldar taking the west side back again. They're not giving up here. Feel like they're up against it though. Flo's army is so nasty. Okay, here's the Wraith Guard. With those mighty Wraith Cannons. What can they do? Nob squad running in after them. Stun bomb. It's going to stun them. Nice work from the Rangers there. Can't decide if the Rangers have been good or not in this game. They're still all alive and they're all at level 3. I just think they missed those early shurikens a bit. Maybe like one shuriken, one ranger would have been great. If you can use it well, of course. I mean, everything's great if they can use it superbly well. Rocks on base. Looks like most things got away there. In fact, there was some friendly fire. Orks is pushing onto bases. They have the 2 natural victory points. They can't get the west side back though at the moment. Thomas now has a D-cannon of their own. And Dice Roll has one. I'm not sure if this is their first one or what. But yeah, they need to run. So much stuff coming in here. Dice Roll couldn't necessarily see what we could see coming in there. Only when it enters their vision. 2 to 1 for the Orks. It's going to be a triple, I think. Because they are indeed getting that west side. Big flurry finish from the Orks. But the Eldar still hanging on for now. Going into base here, the battle wagon. Some units are inside of it. Some Storm Boys jumping into base to blow up. Warboss now level 4. Not much those base turrets can do about the looted tank there. Double cap for the Orks. Eldar getting their natural back. I don't think they can recover from this. But they do have this natural power. They need to do some very sneaky Eldar shenanigans. I don't think they can they can do head-on fighting like this. You need to get around and try to paint the map red with sneaky Eldar shenanigans. But they're going to try and fight here, it looks like. And it's much easier said than done to do that. Sometimes it's simpler just to run in there and try and get a good fight. 2 to 1, 158 to 74. Oh, Thomas lost their D cannon. So did Dice Roll actually. They never got away from that big push, I think. Another Orks. The battle wagons go straight into it. And then drives out again. They're trying to run things over on retreat here. They're going to get away from the fire dragons. They'll be fine, I think. I think they'll be fine. There's a time field. Nob squad on capping duty. Map looking incredibly blue right now. Nob squad could just tough this out, maybe. Oh, there's a mind war. Okay, they got it. Frenzy was popped as well. There's a triple, and that's probably going to be the game for the Orky fellas. Flow with heavy losses, but it was kind of heavy losses at exactly the right time. They just went tier 3, their teammates carried them, and then all of the commandos came out and caused huge amounts of problems. There's the game. Triple cap at the end for the Orks. Level 6 Mekboy. Level 8 Commando had a level 4 Warboss. Warlock level 6. Level 8 Farseer. Level 6 Whoop Spider Exarch. As I said, I think they missed those early shurikens between Dice Roll and Bebop. I don't think they got any, did they? It was all rangers and stuff. They used them quite well. They did use them quite well. It's just hard to control Orky aggression with just rangers, I think. Yeah. The Mind War was amazing. Well, there it is, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to these players for playing us a faction war, and of course the Tenso for getting this replay over to me. I'll see you guys next time.